Right, hi everybody. I'm Marianne from MSP, Director of Development. I think it says in your programs. So I'm responsible for the software that MSP produces for Renishaw equipment and also for CNC machines. What I'm going to talk about today is just how we have developed recently a plugin for PolyWorks so that you can actually run inspection programs on your CNC machine tool using the same program that you've produced in PolyWorks. But just to start, this is just an introduction for those of you that don't know MSP. We are a Renishaw associate company. Renishaw own 70% of the business. Our background is that we, in 2002, the company started, and in 2005, we produced the UCC server, which was mentioned earlier. So we are experts in 5-axis probing, and our software drives the Renishaw probes on the UCC CMMs, and then also on the equator gauging equipment as well. And we've transferred that expertise into CNC machines and also now robots as well. So our specialism is understanding really complex part programs. So we deal with a lot of companies in motorsport, in aerospace, in defence, where they're producing maybe composite parts or additive parts where the metrology of those parts and the accuracy of those parts is really crucial within microns. We have our products which we do automated machine capability checks using our NC Checker product, and then we also do automated part setup. So what we're basically aiming to do is squeeze out any of the errors in those part processes so that your parts come off the machines as accurate as they possibly can. Customer base. Oh, sorry, yes. Sorry about that. Our customer base, a lot of our customers are in the room today, which is good to see. We sell to all of the F1 teams in the UK. We're not allowed to say who they are, but I think it's kind of self-explanatory. So what I want to talk about is just the consistency, really. I mean, one of the reasons that we have developed this plugin is that PolyWorks were getting feedback, well, in a metric really, but they were getting feedback that customers wanted to be able to run the same inspection programs on the CMM and on the CNC. Basically because of the lack of consistency in the reporting and everything on the shop floor, from the production department through to the quality department. So this whole idea of consistency within the production process is really where this plugin is coming from. Obviously what you've got within the production environment is you've got different priorities with conflicting goals. Some people within the quality are looking at accuracy and precision, management is looking at cost, and then the production is looking at speed and making sure that as many parts come off the machines as quickly as they can. So those different priorities cause tension often within the shop floor environment. And then you've got training and expertise gaps as well. So people within the quality department have understand the metrology that is involved with part production, but then the operators on the CNC machine tools maybe don't understand the metrology to that level of detail. So within that, you've got various different gaps that come out, and then with the inspectors having much deeper knowledge than the actual guys on the shop floor. Inconsistent measuring techniques as well. So you might have people who are running the machine tools where they're just using handheld devices or whatever to do their checks, whereas within the CMM environment, obviously, you've got very high precision, standardized measurement techniques. And then this can lead to conflict, doubts about who's measuring what and how they're measuring it. And then obviously with the production pressure in terms of decision making, often we find when we're talking to some of our customers that with the guys who are running the machine tools, they just want to make sure that the parts come off the machine tools as quickly as they possibly can. And then obviously they get into the quality department, and the quality department then reject those parts. So that decision making is inconsistent across the piece. And then the documentation and traceability. Often there's no documentation that's coming off or measurement documentation coming off from the machine tools. And obviously the documentation in the quality department is critical. And I think this is really where the comments from a number of PolyWorks customers is that they want to be able to make sure that they've got that consistency. So what we have done is we've developed a plugin where you can use the same machines, all the same machines, and you're going to get use the same software, you're going to get the same reports out, but you're using all of these different measuring machines to do it. So in terms of MSP, for those of you that don't know about MSP, MSP stands for Metrology Software Products. Our focus is all around getting metrology quality data off probes. And so what we concentrate on is making sure that your whole setup is as accurate as it possibly can be through 5-axis probing setup, automated machine checking to check that the machine is actually capable of machining parts accurately. We do the part programming using other plugins for the likes of NX and CATIA. We do automated part setup so that you don't have to use complex fixturing, and then the on-machine inspection as well. And all of those elements combine together to make sure that we can actually guarantee that the parts come off the CNC machines accurately and perfectly. So this is the process that we use. We start with the probe. We start with calibrating the probe and making sure that the probe is measuring accurately. We make sure that the machine is measuring accurately. We make sure that all of the programming is there, the part alignment, and then the on-machine inspection. And this is one of the things that we do with our checker software, is that we want to make sure that the machines that we're using are as accurate as they possibly can be. So we create or we generate through a series of tests a benchmark report which judges the probe performance, and it also judges kind of the rotary axes and the accuracy of them. We have actually now used this benchmark process on CMMs as well to actually check the accuracy of the probing and the movement of the rotary heads on the CMM as well. Because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we can guarantee that all of the measurements that we're taking from those probes are as accurate as they possibly can be, so that we're not putting any errors into the process at all. So we've integrated with PolyWorks to make sure that you can use the PolyWorks inspection sequence to take that measurement sequence. We then, through our plugin, generate the G-code to run on the CNC machine. We automatically upload that onto the CNC controller, take the probing measurements, and then return that data back into PolyWorks. And what that means is that you're basically using that one piece of software with our plugin so that your inspection reports off the CNC machine are exactly the same as the ones that you get from the CMM. So the process is basically that you set up your measurement sequence in PolyWorks. We then just run a simple macro script that then generates the G-code. Press cycle start on the machine controller. Perfect part. Our software then does a very simple alignment just to check that where the part is in the machine. Generates the probing data and then sends that data back to PolyWorks. And then you get a full GD&T report in the PolyWorks solution. And it's great for us because we've had a few customers who, with our Perfect Parts software, have asked for more GD&T in our reports. But GD&T is a very complex area. So, for us, this is great because we don't have to then put all of that GD&T into our reporting. You can get it straight out of PolyWorks. This is the process. You don't necessarily have to read all of this, but the important bit really is what we call the metrology assurance, to make sure that we can guarantee that all of that measurement that you're doing will correlate with the measurement that you're doing on the CMM. So at the moment, there's a few caveats, if you like, because it is a very new plugin that we've just developed. So there's a few things. We're just doing touch points at the minute. So yeah, using just the touch points on the probes on the machines. But you can add different probes, custom probes and styli within PolyWorks. The probe path will always just follow the tip of the probe. And we're just taking measurements so that we can take those measurements and reduce the amount of data that we're putting back into PolyWorks. And then, obviously, what we're looking at is the orientation of the CNC and the CMM have to be the same so that we can accurately correlate those results. So, in terms of the plugin, just a few actions for you if you're interested in it. We currently support Fanuc, Heidenhain, Mazak, Siemens and Akuma controllers. Obviously, the plugin, it's just a very simple plugin that we would install alongside your existing PolyWorks setup. If you haven't got a machine tool probe, then you would need to get one, and our friends at Renishaw can supply them. And then, yeah, we can organise some demos or at one of our partner sites. And at the moment, I'm very interested in working with anybody who's interested in this solution because, like I say, it is very new. And we've got all that list of caveats that we have at the moment in terms of how it works. So I'm interested in anybody who would like to kind of test the whole thing out for us, if it's of interest. Okay, thanks for listening. Has anybody got any questions? No? Great. Well, I'll be around over lunch, so if you have any questions or you think of anything that you'd like to ask, then just give me a shout. Okay?